Now then, people, and welcome back to the Just Joe football show. And as always, I like to keep my ear close to the ground, my finger on the pulse. And we have some breaking developments on the Marc Roca to Leeds transfer saga. It looks set now, signed, sealed, delivered, that Leeds United looks set to land their third major signing of the season. We heard late last week that Leeds were expecting to get a third done by the end of this coming week, and it looks like that man is going to be Marc Roca. I believed it would be Sonny Perkins. I didn't believe it would be a third first-team signing, but the club are not messing around, and it looks like Marc Roca has turned down offers from a host of La Liga clubs to come to the Premier League and continue progressing in his career. Of course, Spanish news outlet Marca have reported that he will choose Leeds United after rejecting these clubs in Spain. It's a very reputable sports journalist paper over in Spain. They believe the fee to be around £10 million. Obviously, I think they're reporting between 13 to 15 million euros, but when that's converted, it will work out to be around £10 million. And the contract's set to be between 3 and 4 years. Of course, key in the signing probably is the fact that Leeds United have quite a decent Spanish contingent now in their ranks with Diego Llorente, Junior Firpo, and of course Rodrigo Moreno. Unless we forget Victor Orta as well, who's been key in getting this one over the line. And look, the oracle for Leeds United fans in Sir Philip of Hay has basically said on Twitter, all we are waiting for now is just the white smoke. It's basically a done deal. We're just waiting for the white smoke. And we should be used to that as Leeds United fans, right? Because we knew for time that Bielsa was done, for example, when we used to have his transfer sagas, and all we were waiting for were the white smoke. Who can forget when the club actually tweeted out the white smoke? So that's enough for me to say this deal is done. And remember, folks, this is not a replacement for Phillips. This is a signing to complement Phillips, to work alongside Calvin Phillips. Now, let me put a quick caveat in there. If Phillips was to leave, this is just not Marc Roca and done. We will go for another. But I believe Phillips gives us one more year. And I believe that has the makings of a great double pivot. And we'll speak about that a little bit later on. There's been a host of journalists speaking to Graham Smith at the YEP. I am going to put the article in the description to this video. The likes of Guillaume Balaguer, etc., speaking so highly of Marc Roca and what he will bring to Leeds United. And again, there's reasons as to why I believe this is a signing to complement Phillips, not to replace him. Because one of the downsides of Marc Roca's game seems to be his physicality, his athleticism, and you know, he's not got the biggest stature, the biggest presence, which is something you do need in the Premier League. You know what I mean? Because players in that position, they're normally monsters, right? Destroyers. If you look at the likes of Rodri and co. But the caveat to that, it all depends on who is around him, the system. And we'll speak about the system. Will Jesse Marsch's system work to his strengths? Because we know he likes to play with a possession-based game. Maybe Jesse Marsch will switch it up slightly. But one of the key points from one of the journalists in that article was saying it will all depend on who is around him and the system. But can you imagine? Calvin is that destroyer. Calvin is that one with that physicality. You know, he is that one that can mop up. Who can forget Bielsa's first season when I used to call him the mop? But Marc Roca, alongside Calvin Phillips, for me, has the makings of a great double pivot. I mean, Guillaume Balaguer even said Roca is a variation of Rodri. Okay, the Rodri that first arrived to the Premier League. Now, of course, you know, Guardiola has adapted Rodri's game. He's come on, and now he's probably one of the best players in his position in the world. But just to have them, you know, links made from someone as reputable as Guillaume Balaguer tells you just how well thought of Roca is. And look, I've seen the comments. There has been a lot of negative comments about Marc Roca in my feed on YouTube. You know, a lot of them linking it to Junior Firpo, etc., which I understand. No one's wrong or right on this. I guess we will only see. Time will tell, won't it? If we do get this deal done, which I believe we will, when it gets over the line and when we see him play games. But there are a number of positives, so hear me out, you know. A number of these journalists are saying Roca is everything you would want in a possession player and someone with high technical quality. Again, we have to think about that system, though. Is Jesse Marsch going to switch it up? Is this a Victor Orta signing? Will he suit what Jesse's going to do? Because a lot of the time, we're not going to have the ball. But Guillaume Balaguer went on to say his distribution is very good. He's a little bit like Toni Kroos when he was at Espanyol. Now, of course, we're not saying, or Guillaume's not saying he's not as good as Toni Kroos. We'd be mad to think we'd be picking up a player as good as Toni Kroos for just £10 million. But again, even just to make them comparisons, it's good for where Leeds United are, okay? He's got good short passing, clever passing up front, and he can see a pass. That's the main thing. He's, for the possession-based game, he's absolutely brilliant, and he's good at reacting well. Again, it's that possession thing. It depends on how Jesse's going to play come next season. And look, pre-season won't be too far away, so we'll get a real look at Roca. But look, when he was playing in Spain, he was technically excellent and appeared almost certain to make that step up to the Spanish squad. And I believe if he comes to the Premier League and adapts to it and does well, that he will definitely get in that Spain squad, clip it up right now, because he was climbing up the hierarchy of Spanish midfielders before he's moved to Bayern, and he looked primed to be quite special. He has high in-game intelligence and great passing. The only few downsides are, of course, his, the physicality issues, and of course, whether or not Jesse Marsch's system is going to suit him. And he doesn't have, or he's not graced with exceptional amounts of pace. He was never the fastest. But one thing's for clear, he's a clever boy. He will absorb things, and he will adapt his game. He'll have done that. He'll have made changes whilst over in Munich. Of course, he had little fits and starts, and Nagelsmann only ever spoke well of him. But when you have Joshua Kimmich and Goretzka ahead of you, Tolisso behind them, and many, many others, Sabitzer, who's not even getting games as well, it's going to be hard. But whenever he was called upon, Nagelsmann only ever spoke well of him. And look, he'll have made changes to his game over in Germany. He'll do the same when he comes to England. But one thing's for sure, he will be hungry, right, to put his career back on track, and prove that he belongs at the top of the game. And I'm really excited by the signing. I'm really excited by the manner in which Leeds United are going about their business in this window. For us to have 3 deals done so quick, and I'm saying done, because it's done. Yeah, Marc Roca will be a Leeds United player by the end of next week. And yeah, it's great times at the minute for Leeds United, and really exciting times. The squad is looking now Premier League quality. There is strength in depth. As long as we don't lose any players, I'd even go as far as to say the likes of Klick, etc., who may move back to Germany or may move to Germany. I prefer these to stay around for the season because we need that quality in depth. And, as Graham Smith had said before, you've gone from having Premier League potential bench to now having a Premier League quality bench, and we will get that if we can get Marc Roca done. And look, for the price that we'll pay for him, okay, some will say it's a gamble, but £10 million for a player of his quality, for me, it is great. And look, a lot of you will say, oh, you're over-egging it, you're overhyping it. And I understand that because I do sometimes let the passion get, ahead of me. I know that. And there are some comments that I do read your comments. And there's a lot of people in there saying they're not sold on him. Some even not sold on Minamino, for example. I think he looks like he might be opting for Wolves, or they've at least agreed to meet Liverpool's valuation. But we'll have to wait and see. But I think at the minute, although we're linked to a number of strikers, and of course Leeds United will be speaking to potential signings, I think Marc Roca is the one that's got full eyes on at this moment in time. That'll be done in the coming days during the week, and then we will move for that striker. And then it'll be a case of, are we losing Calvin? Are we losing Rafinha? If we are, we need to replace them, and here's some cash to do that with. But, Marc Roca in the door, another striker, and you're saying that's very good business by Leeds United. Some will want more. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks, as always, for watching the Just Joe Football Show. It is greatly appreciated. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend and join me throughout the week for some more breaking transfer news that undoubtedly will come. And in the meantime, enjoy it, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace out. Leeds.